Shadows of the Empire is the multimedia interquel that bridged the fan-favorite Star Wars films, The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, utilizing the purest form of what I like to call pointless fanfiction bullshit for idiots whom respect neither their own time nor money. Since you already know what happens before and after this sort of lateral lore expansion, the entire endeavor becomes basically pointless. However, unlike the much-anticipated spin-offs Disney is filming about such beloved Star Wars characters as Han Solo, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Banjo Lip Laquifa, the bald-headed sassy black woman that they're gonna cram into those other two movies like their target audience of unfuckable swamp monsters cramming their wriggling carapaces into taint mud-stained Yoda print yoga pants. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, the video game, actually holds a modicum of merit. While some players may be put off by the prospect of playing as a half-assed Brendan Fraser clone whose in-game model makes him look like he washes his face with the residue left over in the pan after cooking crack, there's so much variety to the content of Shadows that it becomes a literal roller coaster ride at one point, though this may also be an effect of the game's short length. While none of the components of Shadows are particularly amazing, none of them stick around long enough to overstay their welcome, like an aging wife whose pussy lips are starting to droop so low that she has to tuck them into her shoes during fancy dinner parties to keep the neighbor's dog from chewing on them, since they might easily mistake them for undercooked cuts of half-chewed hanger steak that fell off of someone's plate. Which, when you think about it, is probably why the protagonist of this game is called Dash Rendar, rather than a whole bunch of Rendar instead. This totally original character, whom certainly doesn't only exist because the developers forgot until the last possible second that you couldn't actually play as Han Solo during the game, since he's supposed to be encased in a gigantic Hershey's chocolate bar at the time, manages to hold his own through a variety of levels. One moment, you'll rush through a road rash-styled showdown against an interstellar bike gang on their way to kill Luke Skywalker, and quickly find that their motor vehicles are less reliable than Apollonia Corleone's. The next, you're tripping at like a fat bitch whose shoes came untied, taking pot shots at half-melted Gundams from a turret, and exploding a space station from the inside like a grittier version of Star Fox 64, but without that pesky slim statistical possibility of turning the young children who play it into sexual deviants who jerk off to squirrels with bionic legs. The first and third person shooting segments function perfectly fine, save for the platform jumping mechanic, which will occasionally make you want to rip off your dick and throw it at an incredibly confused, innocent bystander. Since Dash slides forward through the air like a goddamn frisbee, he'll be jumping on rocks like Carrie Fisher in a crack house free-for-all and falling off slipperier slopes than an industrial accident at a Chinese anal lube factory. I can't state this plainly enough. You will die simply for walking too fast over the peaks of hills and being unable to cease drifting over the side of a cliff. Imagine professional wrestler / carpet stainer Owen Hart riding Christopher Reeve's horse near the edge of a cliff while it wears the hover boots from Ocarina of Time, and you'll understand what I mean. Bosses in this cash grab bag include the same ATST walker a bunch of times, a glorified forklift, Boba Fett's car, the love child Boba Fett had with his car, and a rock'em sock'em robot that doesn't know when to quit. While the Shadows of the Empire media blitz included a novel, comic book, breakfast cereal, and that one limerick appended to the end of the Quran, and I quote, "There once was a boy from Naboo, whose mother drank water's goo. When she spun on some dick, he thought that's a good trick and filled his butt up with sand too." This game leaves out key plot components introduced by the other Shadows of the Empire projects, like Luke painstakingly constructing his new lightsaber, Darth Vader trying to heal his burns with the unholy combination of pure unfiltered hatred mixed with cocoa butter, and an alien who looks like an anthropomorphized booger using pheromones from his chipotle-infused butthole stank to lure Princess Leia into an erotic bubble bath when all he had to do was toss an 8-ball into the water. Overall, while Shadman of the Empire probably won't appeal to the modern Thoy Wars audience, since it doesn't feature shoehorned in socialist propaganda, a crippled transsexual Puerto Rican love interest, a line of toys collecting dust on Walmart's shelf, or a big mouthful of cum, it's a classic that allows the player to simulate making sweet love to Kathleen Kennedy and holds up surprisingly well to this day.